Welcome to in-service training for the Stella disinfection system. During the session, we will cover who TriStill are and what we do. What is the Stella system? What are the Stella components? How to set up the Stella system? How to operate the Stella system? Stella system storage? How to troubleshoot the Stella system? Stella system maintenance? Stella system audit trail. TriStill manufactures products for infection control, contamination control, and hygiene. TriStill uses its unique chlorine dioxide chemistry in a range of high-performance disinfectants for hospital instruments and surfaces. Stella with TriStill Fuse for instruments is a semi-automated system for the high-level disinfection of medical devices. Stella combines the simplicity of manual soaking with the sophistication of an automated washer disinfector. Stella is specifically designed to reprocess small and medium-sized, rigid and flexible, non-lumened and single-lumened endoscopes used in gynecology, IVF, urology, cardiology, ENT, ultrasound, anesthetics, and respiratory. Stella is not suitable for disinfecting multi-lumen instruments. This simple and safe system disinfects an instrument in 5 minutes. The unique features of the Stella system helps reduce the risk of cross-patient contamination, eliminates overexposure of instruments to the TriStill disinfectant, Fuse for instruments. Stella is supported by downloadable traceability features and logbook. Stella allows you to see more patients in less time, whilst giving you peace of mind that the disinfection process has been completed successfully. With improved health and safety, it is safe for you to use and safe for the instruments. Stella Components. To start, we are going to review the components that make up the Stella disinfection system. Stella Cradle with Shelf. This is the Stella Cradle and Shelf. Stella Cradle provides central storage for the Stella equipment and can be leveled. The disinfection cycle will not start automatically unless the Stella electronics detect the correct level measure of disinfectant. Place Stella Cradle on the bench or trolley where the Stella disinfectant will be located and adjust the feet. Check the inbuilt spirit level to ensure the bubble is in the center, indicating that the cradle is level. The Stella Cradle has a shelf to house the pulse unit. The shelf can be located on either side of the main unit, depending on bench setup. An Allen key is used to remove and shift the tray to the other side of the cradle. Stella Base and Lid. Stella Base is the disinfectant chamber that holds medical instruments. Stella Base is placed on the cradle. The base has an inner chamber where the instrument is placed for disinfecting. The outer chamber is for the disinfectant overflow. A cutout on each side of the base allows for instrument's parts that cannot be disinfected to exit, keeping clear of fluid. Check with the instrument manufacturer to confirm which parts must be kept dry. The lid is shaped to fit and seal the base inner compartment. This disinfects the compartment lip and ensures that the instrument is fully immersed into the disinfection liquid during disinfection. To transport your instrument, the base and lid can be used as a transport chamber for the instrument with the easy-to-lift cutouts on the side of the base for hand grip. Small parts tray. Some instruments have detachable taps or bangs that need to be disinfected. Disassemble the instruments and place the small parts in the small parts tray of the base. The small parts tray can be positioned at the front of the inner compartment of the base on either the left or right side. The tray fits into designated slots. Stella IQ. Stella IQ is the controller of the disinfection system. It has 2 buttons. The on and OK button, the off button. This small battery-powered controller contains software that displays prompts on an LCD screen directing the user through the stages of the disinfection cycle. It has a timer to manage the contact time of the disinfectant with the instrument. It records details and all required steps of the disinfection cycle. Stella IQ provides a validation code to confirm a successful disinfection cycle. This validation code is recorded for audit trail purposes and can also be downloaded for electronic records via software. Stella IQ is operated by battery power and charged when not in use by mains. When charging Stella IQ, peel back the black power port cover to connect the power adapter. Stella IQ should not be charged whilst attached to the base or near any forms of liquid. Once Stella IQ is fully charged, replace the power port power cover firmly to ensure that no liquid can come in contact with the charging area. Stella IQ should be placed on a full 12-hour charge prior to first use. The LCD screen will confirm when the battery is full. A drainage hose is attached to Stella to drain disinfectant to waste. Stella Pulse. Stella Pulse is a battery-powered pump used in the disinfection process of non-lumen and single-lumen instruments. Stella Pulse is directed and controlled by Stella IQ through Bluetooth communication. Stella Pulse has one on-off button and 3 LED lights indicating power, Bluetooth, and pump activity. These are explained on the Help Guide wall chart. At the start of the disinfection cycle, Pulse will irrigate the instrument lumen and ensure it is filled with disinfectant. At the end of the disinfection cycle, Pulse removes the disinfectant from the lumen. Stella Pulse disinfects single lumen instruments. Pulse identifies if only water has been added and won't allow the disinfection cycle to start. Stella Pulse protects your instrument. If there is a blockage in the instrument, Stella stops working. If the instrument is not connected, Stella will not start the disinfection cycle. If the instrument becomes disconnected during the disinfection cycle, a validation code will not be given. Stella IQ will alert the user by graphics and sound if something is not correct. A validation code is only given when everything has gone right. The power port for charging Stella Pulse is protected by a black power cover. Before using Stella Pulse, make sure that the black power cover is sealed securely so that no water or disinfectant comes in contact with the power charge port. To charge Stella Pulse, peel back the power cover to charge. Stella Pulse should not be charged whilst attached to the base or near any forms of liquid. Pulse Tube Set. The Pulse Tube Set connects Stella Pulse to the instrument to be disinfected. It draws disinfectant from the base and passes it through the pump, delivering chemistry to the instrument lumen. Match the tube set male and female connector to Stella Pulse. Ensure they click firmly into place. Place the tube set green mount on the base cutout, so the pickup filter on the tube set is placed in the base inner compartment. Attach the tube set Luer lock to the instrument channel. Pulse Surrogate Lumen. This is the Stella Pulse Surrogate Lumen. Non-lumen instruments and single-lumen instruments can be disinfected in Stella. If you have an instrument that does not have a lumen, you must provide a surrogate. Connect the Pulse tube set to the surrogate lumen. Without it, Stella will not work. Dual Luer lock connector. This is the dual Luer lock connector. Stella with Pulse provides high-level disinfection for single-lumen instruments. Instruments with more than one lumen cannot be disinfected in Stella. Wherever an instrument has detachable parts, remove and disassemble them. Check that the detached parts can be disinfected. Place parts to be disinfected in the small parts tray and slot this into the base inner compartment. Place all parts that cannot be disinfected outside of the Stella system. Some instruments have 2 fixed ports that feed into the same lumen. Both port entries must be disinfected. Check the instrument manufacturer guidelines for how these 2 fixed ports should be disinfected. If the instrument is single lumen with 2 entry ports and it is determined that both fixed ports must be disinfected, the dual Luer lock connector Y-piece can be used to split the Stella Pulse tube set connection to attach to both ports. Stella drainage hose set. This Stella drainage hose set firmly connects to Stella IQ and drains disinfectant to waste. At the end of the disinfection cycle, the drainage hose directs the disinfectant from Stella Base to the sink, or collection point for disposal. Stella Lube. This Stella Lube is applied to Stella IQ inlets to ensure a firm fit to the base. Apply the lube before first use, then every 6 months. Drainage outlet cap. The drainage outlet cap is attached once the base has been drained of disinfectant. It caps off any residual disinfectant when the IQ is removed from the base. Never use the drainage outlet cap on a full tray of disinfectant. Grommets. Grommets can close off the base cutouts when instrument disinfected are full immersed in disinfectant and no parts are exited. Stella power adapters. 2 power adapters are supplied with Stella IQ and Stella Pulse. You can use either adapter on both units. Do not use other adapters to charge Stella Components, and don't wrap cords too tightly when not in use. Stella Toolbox. The Stella Toolbox stores Stella accessories when not in use. The small parts tray, lube, grommets, and drainage outlet cap can be placed in the lid compartments. The toolbox also includes 2 help kits: Stella Pulse Pump Hose Change Kit, Stella Manual Emergency Kit Process, and a software keycard included for installing Stella Suite. The dual Luer lock connector, Surrogate Lumen, and the power adapter can be stored inside the toolbox. These items will be covered in detail later in this training. Reference tools. Troubleshooting tools to support you with Stella system operation include the Stella Quick Guide Wall Chart for operating instructions, the Stella Help Guide Wall Chart for maintenance and troubleshooting advice, the Stella Performance website, www.stella-performance.com/help, offers guides, troubleshooting, and how-to videos. The Stella Instructions for Use manual provide comprehensive information on the system and how to operate. If you are unable to find the information you need in any of these tools, contact your Stella service agent. Stella Set Up. We will now summarize the parts and show how the Stella disinfection is set up ready for use. Set the cradle up level on a bench close to a sink and check the spirit level. The bubble needs to be in the center. This indicates that the cradle is level. Place the base on the cradle. Stand the lid in an upright position at the back of the base if wall height allows. If not, position behind the cradle. Apply Stella Lube to the IQ outlets before first use, then every 6 months. Firmly attach Stella IQ to the base. Connect the drainage hose set to Stella IQ and direct the end of the tube into a sink or waste container. The drainage hose must flow and not be immersed in fluid or it will block. Place Pulse on the cradle shelf. Place the tube mount on the tray cutout so the pickup filter is placed in the inner compartment. Connect the tube set to the Pulse. Stella is now ready for use.